So I had one of those moments where you come across a concept and it just clicks. It's the concept that you've been thinking about, you've been pondering, and you come across an article or tweet or you hear it in a conversation and everything just falls into place. For the past couple of years, I've been noodling on lifestyle design and how to design your life in a way that is authentic to you and how you want to live your life and what the values you uphold. And I came across this article called Lifestyle Design. And what surprised me was that there wasn't a lot of content being produced about it. So when I would search for it on YouTube or Google, there would be some articles here and there. Some of them were pretty fluffy. Some of them weren't that practical. Some of them were too narrowly focused on being a solopreneur or traveling around the world and being a nomad, which is not what I'm interested in. So I decided to write a blog post on lifestyle design that kind of took little bits and pieces of all these other aspects that I found interesting and crafted, I guess, my own point of view. So I'll read this blog post, go through a few examples, share how I'm thinking about it and how you can apply it in your own lives as well. So lifestyle design. It starts with a quote from Ryan Holiday. Are you designing a life you actually like living in? I came across this concept which embodies what I have been exploring over the past year. Lifestyle design is about creating a life that matches who you are and what you care about. Simply, it's defined as how you spend your time, energy, and money. The main principles behind lifestyle design are freedom and flexibility. One is freedom and flexibility, control over how you spend your time, which often includes untethering from traditional schedules and routines. 2, work-life integration, integrating your work and career in a sustainable way that provides fulfillment in both. 3, purposeful living, intentionally designing your days and routines based on your own personal definitions of success. 4, income autonomy, generating income in a way that provides location freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. The core idea is to proactively design and create a life optimized for your values rather than following the default life path. This is juxtaposed with the slave, save, retire approach where you work for 40 to 50 years, doing things you don't enjoy doing, hoping to enjoy life after retirement. To design your ideal lifestyle, you'll have to question some common beliefs and define success for yourself. You may end up with something that looks much different from the status quo. Here's some good examples. Kevin Dahlstrom has written out a full list of his quote-unquote end-state lifestyle. Greg Eisenberg has a checklist of modern luxuries for entrepreneurs and creators. And Shreyas Doshi writes about how he spends his days, which is different than the conventional path. My list is similar to others, includes things like impactful work, spending quality time with my family, traveling, but it's also very different. I want to balance ambition with personal relationships and health, and I want to design a life where I can have both. Lifestyle design is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time thing. You'll need to keep reflecting on your life and make changes as needed. It's about living life on your terms, breaking away from societal norms, and designing a life that provides fulfillment, lots of joy, and a sense of purpose. So what I'll do now is I'll share a couple of examples that I listed in the article. The first is from Kevin. And what he advises is for people to take the time to literally write out their desired end state lifestyle. What does that look like? What would you do and avoid doing? Who would you be around and where would you be? And here's his full list. It's titled Kevin's Best Life. I'm not going to read all of them. I'll just pull out some of my favorite ones. Challenging, intellectually stimulating work done on my terms. Mornings free to read, write, and think. At least one active, creative, and personal project, control of 90% of my schedule, lots of sunshine and time outside, ability to live and work anywhere, small, beautifully designed home with a view, always available for family, lots of adventures and projects with the kids, regular one-on-one time with my wife, steadily grow in my faith, give back and help others grow, invest in deep, intimate relationships with 4 to 6 friends, positive vibes only, 0 toxic people in my inner circle, travel 3 months a year, some with friends, some with family, March to December near mountains, January and February in a sunny, warm place. Climb several times a week, top 0.1% fit, eat an 80% clean diet, and financial assets that fund this lifestyle indefinitely. I actually ended up reading all of them. I thought they were all pretty good. But what I love about this list is he's very intentional about how he wants to live his life. I think he's also building a company at the same time, but he's balancing both. And it's all his decisions and how he lives based on this 15 to 20 bulleted list. His advice for building this list is to base this list on what brings you joy and energy and stay away from what steals it. And do not base your list on others' definition of success. Greg Eisenberg put together a list of 60 modern luxuries. Some things that he wrote for his life would be international airport within 30 minutes of your home, 10,000 plus size audience to test new ideas on, no alarm clock, wake up naturally, no fake smiling, live in a place that's calming and inspiring, pretty empty calendar to be creative, group chat of friends inspiring you to do big stuff, nature close to home, clear vision of who you want to be, a loving family, chasing fun, not money, your kids want to hang out with you, 99% calm, wake up stoked to get to work, you don't focus on the fault of others, you enjoy your own company, and life and career feels like a scenic drive. And he put bonus, a portfolio of inner assets that cover your rent. The goals is to have some type of income stream that funds this lifestyle that you want to create indefinitely. And tied to that is the life that you live might look very different than the conventional work for a company for the majority of your life and then retire. There seems to be a trend to live the life on your own terms now and to die with zero. So make enough money to fund this lifestyle, enjoy your life from day one, and work backwards from dying with zero. The last example is with Shreyas Doshi. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I've been on the receiving end of this, obviously with my last name, but he wrote an update 3 years into the next chapter of his career. And he used to work in big tech roles as an engineer and product manager. And then he left Stripe to start the second chapter of his career. So he starts off by saying, I love what I do, but what do I do? It's hard to attach a convenient label to what I do now, and I think that's a good thing. But here's how I spend my work time. 60% teaching, 25% advising founders, 10% writing, and 5% on speaking engagements. He works 7 days of the week, but he has very high flexibility for when he works and how he chooses to work in any given week. This allows him to spend more time with his teenager. He realizes that he only had 5 years left with him in the house, and he knew that those 5 years would go by very, very fast. The quote that I really liked from him, based on his experience, is, if one wants to live in modern society, it is often necessary to follow the conventional path for some time to create the lifestyle one wants. The trouble arises when the player of the game fails to see that he is no longer playing the game and the game is in fact playing him. And that is what I love about lifestyle design. It's something that I'm currently going through. I'm still trying to understand what the ideal life looks like. I'm exploring a lot of different paths, and it always circles around to those 4 main principles that I talked about earlier, which are freedom, flexibility, having a work-life integration, purposeful living, and income autonomy. I think having income that provides personal freedom, that supports the lifestyle that you want to live, and hopping off the traditional notions of what it means to be successful and going along with your own personal definitions of success. To be honest, this is something that I struggle with on a day-to-day basis. I realize that the ideal lifestyle that I want to create looks very different from the average traditional path, and it looks different for everyone else. It's very personal to what I want to create. It's different for any individual and any family. And some of the things that I'm thinking through is whether I want to build another company, or should I spend a lot of time on different projects, whether that be sitting on the board of a nonprofit, renovating a house as a creative outlet, been exploring living in different cities throughout the world. Maybe we live here throughout the school year, but every summer we live in Europe. These are all things that are within our grasp because of the ideals and the income that we have set up. Circling back to that quote, are you designing a life you actually like living in? I think that is a really important question. It's going to be a long journey to figure that out. I encourage any of you to think through what your ideal lifestyle looks like. What would it look like if you designed it from scratch today? What are some things that you like about it? What are some things you don't like about it? What are some changes that you can make? Go through those iterations, keep iterating over the next couple of years. If not sooner, you'll land on a formula that works for you. And with that said, that's this episode. If you enjoyed it, please forward, share with a friend. Please subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. And I'll see you at the next solo episode.